What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Heat Report, and we have a lot to go through today. Before we get into it, just want to make sure y'all leave a like and subscribe. I think we're less than 15 subscribers away from 300, so hit that subscribe button, like button, comment down below what y'all thought about this video. As always, y'all are the GOATs. And let's get right into it, guys. So we do have a lot to uncover today. We're going to be talking about the Heat's road trip coming to an end in OKC tonight. We got the rumors with the Miami Heat setting sights on DeMarcus Cousins and PJ Tucker. Going to talk about Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond potentially, Jimmy Butler's impact on the Heat, and some of the recent games that we've had in this road trip. So we'll talk about the road trip first, actually, and recapping the road trip. We first started off, if I'm not mistaken, we started off in Houston. We did start off in Houston, and we beat Houston on a nationally televised game. I did go through that game in the previous video, so I won't talk about that much in detail. But Max Strus definitely came to play in that game. Then I think we went to the Utah Jazz's arena in Utah, and we lost in a pretty blowout fashion. The Utah Jazz are still at that time and are still the best team in the NBA as far as record is concerned. So it was going to be a tough game against the Utah Jazz. And then the games that I didn't talk about were losing to the Los Angeles Clippers. That was a really bad loss. I can accept the Jazz one. Any loss is a bad loss, but the Jazz one, I can understand because they are the best team in the NBA as far as record. But the Los Angeles Clippers were missing 4 key players. Kawhi was out, Paul George was out, Nick Batum was out, Pat Bev was out. And there's always someone in any of these teams that go off against us. Like I think against the Jazz, not the Jazz. I think against the Clippers, it was Amir Coffey just raining threes on us. We were leaving him wide open. He was making us pay. And I mean, like, we can't afford to let these losses slip away, or let these wins slip away from us and turn into losses, especially against shorthanded teams. Like the Los Angeles Clippers were not fully healthy at all, and we were in position to win that game. I think we had a lead and we blew it. And in the fourth quarter, we were just playing catch up, and it was just a bad performance against the Los Angeles Clippers, which we should have won that game. And that game particularly, I think, is on Eric Spoelstra. I'm not saying Spoelstra should be fired or anything like that. I'm just saying we made a lot of mistakes that game, and a lot of that was due to Eric Spoelstra. And I do think that what he did wrong was every time the way the Los Angeles Clippers beat us was very easy. Every time we were on defense, they would set a screen. The big man would set a screen on the point guard's man, and we would switch that because, as we all know, Bam can guard 1 through 5 pretty comfortably. So I wasn't too worried about Bam being on their point guard, but what I was worried about was that the center would be on our point guard. So it'd be an easy bucket for the center down low, because our point guard, whoever it is, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson at times, Kendrick Nunn, they were outmatched down low. So that was where we were getting beat every time with Zubac. It wasn't even Ibaka. I think Zubac was the one that kept beating us down low because we didn't have any size because Bam was on the perimeter, and Kelly Olynyk is guarding the wing player. So even he can't stand a chance against someone who's a post player because he's not a good defender. So that was how we lost that Los Angeles Clippers game. And then we lost to the Golden State Warriors, which is another terrible loss because we were up by 16 points, and then we let that one slip away. Just some lapses defensively and offensively. I do feel that we didn't go to our strengths. Steph Curry made some ridiculous shots towards the end, which I'm not really gonna fault our defense for, because we actually played really good defense on Steph Curry. It was just the thing that I blame against the Warriors was not coaching or anything. It was just the effort. They were getting a lot of second possessions, loose balls, offensive rebounds off of missed shots, and that's deflating. Kent Bazemore he was a man amongst boys that game. I think he was bullying our guys down low, every time they missed a shot, they were the first one to get it back. They were out hustling the Heat. The Heat were being out hustled. You know how hard that is to believe? Because we're talking about Heat culture, this, that, and the other. We're getting out hustled by Kent Bazemore and Michael Mulder and whoever else was getting offensive rebounds on the Warriors. Kelly Oubre. We were getting out hustled, plain and simple, which is why we lost that game down the stretch. We didn't play with that same energy that we showed in the first half. I thought in the first half we played amazing. And Precious had a great game that game as well, so it was pretty tough to let that one slip away. Then we went on to Sacramento on a back-to-back, which was a very good win against the Kings. I was kind of scared we were about to blow that one away too, blow a lead on that one too, because we were up big, and then this dude Daquan Jeffries, another random guy who random dudes always torch the Heat. He was automatic from three, and then thankfully our lead was big enough so that we weren't able to completely blow it, but it was still a good win regardless. I thought we played pretty well that game. Our shooting was very good against the Kings. Very good against the Kings. I think Duncan Robinson had a great game. Tyler Hero had 27 points. Jimmy and Bam both had triple doubles. So I mean, we weren't gonna lose that game. Too many of our players played really well for us to drop that game against the Sacramento Kings. And then we had a big game, NBA Finals rematch revenge tour against the Los Angeles Lakers, who were without Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder, but we did have to beat who was in front of us, and we did the job. We handled business. The only bad thing that came out of that game is that Tyler Hero went to the locker room in the middle of the second quarter with a groin injury, and he did not return for the rest of that game. He's questionable for tonight's game against the OKC Thunder. So that's a big blow if we lose him against the Thunder, because I know it's only the Thunder, but the Thunder have shown that they can compete with a lot of teams. They beat the Bucks. They went to overtime with the Lakers twice. So I mean, the Thunder are no joke. And Tyler Hero, we're gonna need Tyler Hero in order to beat the Thunder convincingly. I still think we can beat them. We're capable of beating him without Tyler Hero, but he would make it a lot easier. So it was a shame that he got injured, but I really thought that we did a great job on LeBron. We kind of gave him the Giannis treatment that we gave Giannis in the playoffs. We kind of just built a wall, sort of a lesser wall, because obviously he's a way better passer, he's a way better shooter than Giannis. But we did a lot of the similar actions that we showed Giannis. So I really thought we handled business that game. And I really thought that guys like Jimmy and Bam, they had great games. You know, Bam with the defense, with the block. I thought Bam against LeBron, Bam held him 2 for 8. I know LeBron overall was like 5 for 17 or something like that, or 7 for 18. I don't know. But again, when directly matched up against Bam Adebayo, LeBron only shot 25% from the field and 25% from three. 2 for 8 from three, 2 for 8 from the field, and 1 for 4 from three. So he really clamped LeBron that game. So I was very happy with Bam's defensive effort, because he's the only guy on our team that's physically capable of moving his feet and slowing down LeBron. So, and I was actually, before like the game started, I was like, I literally told myself, I was like, I really think we should put Bam on LeBron and put Jimmy Butler on Kuzma, and then have Kelly Olynyk guard Marc Gasol. Well, it was Kelly Olynyk on Kuzma and Jimmy Butler on Marc Gasol, which is why Kuzma was killing, because Kelly Olynyk didn't have the foot speed to keep up with him. I think later we put Jimmy on Kuzma, but I think we started off with Kelly Olynyk on Kuzma. But it was Bam on LeBron, and Bam did a great job. And now we're at a point where we're closing out this road trip against the OKC Thunder, and this should be a very winnable game. I'm not saying it's going to be, cakewalk, because like I said, OKC do give teams some run. And they're 12-18, so they're a very similar record to us, which is very funny, because a lot of people projected OKC to be the worst team in the NBA. For them, I think George Hill and Trevor Ariza are the only ones that are out. Obviously for us, Silva, Myers Leonard, Dragic, Bradley, and Hero are questionable. So if Hero plays, I think we'll get it done pretty comfortably. But if he doesn't, it'll be hard fought. So I do think that the Heat will pull out with the win, though. I do think we'll pull out with the win. After the Thunder, I'm gonna read out the next slate of games. We have the Spurs. No, sorry, I'm looking at the Thunder schedule. My bad, yo. I think we have the Raptors, if I'm not mistaken. We have the Raptors. We're actually going to be playing us on a back-to-back against the Sixers, because they played the Sixers before. And then, but then we have the Jazz, Hawks twice, and the Pelicans. So, these are not easy games by any means. Like the Raptors, very good team. I think the hottest team of the Eastern Conference right now. Jazz, best record in the league. Hawks just came off of big wins against the Nuggets. I think they beat the Celtics as well. So they're coming off 2 big wins. And the Pelicans also just beat the Celtics. So shout out to the Celtics for doing us a favor, because we're only 2.5 games behind the 4 seed. So shout out to the Eastern Conference for sucking this year, because it would be a lot different if we were in the West. But thankfully, we have a very high chance to get back in the playoff picture. So let's talk about some rumors. DeMarcus Cousins and PJ Tucker being strongly linked to the Heat. Now, obviously, we know DeMarcus Cousins. I think it came out the night of the Heat game against the Lakers. It came out that DeMarcus Cousins was parting ways with the Houston Rockets because of not because he didn't like his role or anything. I think it was because the Rockets wanted to move in a different direction due to DeMarcus Cousins' age. They wanted a younger front court. And I think that's why the Cavs are doing the same thing with Drummond, and the Pistons are doing the same thing with Blake Griffin. So these 3 guys are people that, you know, are linked to the Heat. DeMarcus Cousins is for sure linked to the Heat. Andre Drummond, I'm not sure. I haven't seen as many Heat links from reporters and writers yet. I've seen Cousins, and I think we do have the highest odds to get Blake Griffin as well. So, yeah. DeMarcus Cousins and Blake Griffin in the Heat. What do y'all think about that? I do think DeMarcus Cousins would be a very interesting piece, because I do think we can play him at the 5, move Bam to the 4. It won't take that much to trade for him. We can get him in the buyout market even if we need to. Same with Blake Griffin. But who would y'all prefer out of the 2? Because out of the 2 right now, I do think I'd rather have DeMarcus Cousins on the team, which is weird because Blake Griffin has been the better player of recent. DeMarcus Cousins is coming back from an injury. But Blake Griffin has not been that great this year. I gotta be honest. He's only shooting 31% from 3. He's not the same player he was before. He's lost all his athleticism. He's a shadow of himself. It's very sad to see, because Blake Griffin used to be one of my favorite players. But DeMarcus Cousins, every time I see him take a 3, it seems like, you know, he doesn't miss. He's only shooting 34%, which is surprising to me. But I do think that he's not only does he space the floor, but I do think we need some rebounding down low, because Bam is getting, you know, if Bam is switched on the perimeter, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be getting a second opportunity, because we don't have any rebounders, so we're going to, you know, crash on the glass. Jimmy's one, but Jimmy's also guarding people. So I do think DeMarcus Cousins would help our rebounding. And if you're talking about rebounding, you can say get Andre Drummond. I wouldn't be opposed to Andre Drummond, but the only thing about Drummond is that the spacing would be terrible with him and Bam. If we get Drummond and Bam, and Spoelstra gives Bam the green light to start shooting 3s, I'd love that so much. I know Bam can shoot, and I know the Heat know Bam can shoot, because I've seen him shoot before, not only in the skills challenge, but also I know like workouts and stuff. But like he's made 3s in the games. I think he made a couple this year. He made 1 last year. Jimmy's even said he has to start shooting the 3 more. If Spoelstra gives him the green light to shoot the 3 and we get Andre Drummond, I think we'd be scary. PJ Tucker's another guy that I have been saying we should try to get. I tell you what, who's the Houston Rockets GM? Because Cousins, PJ Tucker, and Oladipo. Just send all those players here, bro. Please. We'd love PJ Tucker, Cousins, and Oladipo in Miami. We'll give y'all Olynyk, which is probably not the best piece, but we'll give y'all Olynyk, Kendrick Nunn, maybe Duncan Robinson. We have a lot of players that y'all might like. Iguodala. We have a lot of players y'all might like. Just if I'm Pat Riley, I'm talking to that Houston Rockets GM, and I'm trying to orchestrate some trades with those 3 guys, because I really think they'd fit well on our team. And lastly, we're going to be talking about Jimmy Butler, because since he's come back, I think in the last 9 games we are 6-3, so we have been very good off as of recent. We have a chance to finish our road trip strong. And this is an interesting stat about Jimmy Butler. Since he has returned, we are second in defensive rating, 12th in rebound percentage, 9th in opponent three-point percentage, 2nd in contested three-point attempts, and 8th at opponent field goal percentage at the rim. So the defense has been amazing since Jimmy Butler has come back, which is what you would expect from a leader, from a defensive first player. We're still trying to figure out the offense, but I do think the defense is getting there, and the offense will come. The offense will come. So I just want to shout out Jimmy Butler for all he's done, because he's such an underrated player. He's just more than stats with him, man. It's just more than stats. His impact is superstar level. So shout out to Jimmy for that. And that's where we're gonna wrap up the video, y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like and subscribe. As I said, under 15 away from 300 subscribers. And I'll see y'all later, man. Peace.